Have you ever felt like you are carrying the weight of the world, even when no one asked you to? Have you noticed your view of life is deeper, more sensitive, more affected by pain than most people's? Maybe you are melancholic, and for a long time, people told you that's a weakness. You're too sensitive. Stop overthinking. Be more positive. But what if I told you that this very sensitivity, this analytical and intense perspective, could be one of your greatest strengths? In this video, we'll explore how to turn melancholy into power, not by rejecting who you are, but by diving courageously into the depth you carry within. Because it's there that your real potential lives. And the first step is understanding your own essence. Before any transformation, you need to understand. A melancholic person is not sad by nature. They're deep. They see nuances, notice silences, pick up on what's left unsaid. But without awareness, that depth becomes a burden. When you realize that feeling more is not weakness, but emotional refinement, something shifts. You stop comparing yourself to people who are more detached or pragmatic. You realize your heart and mind operate on a different frequency. And from that awareness, the healing process begins. Not to erase your melancholy, but to stop punishing yourself for being who you are. And from that clarity comes the need to name what you carry. Every melancholic person lives with a kind of silent storm. It's the self-demand, the fear of failure, the pursuit of perfection. When you don't recognize this, those shadows control you. But when you name them, this is perfectionism. This is fear of rejection. This is guilt that isn't mine. They lose power. You begin to see that much of your suffering comes from unrealistic expectations, many of them self-imposed. The secret isn't eliminating your shadows, but learning to walk with them. Because those who recognize their wounds develop compassion. And that compassion leads us to the next step, discovering hidden strengths. What the world calls weakness may actually be hidden superpowers. Melancholic introspection is a source of creative ideas, deep reflections, and rare empathy. Your ability to observe, to analyze before acting, to feel the environment, all of that is power. Think of great artists, philosophers, and sensitive scientists. Many of them shared this trait. The world needs those who feel deeply, because those who feel notice what others ignore, and those who notice have the power to transform. But this sensitivity must be directed. It must be channeled. And that's why the next block is about turning pain into purpose. Turning melancholy into strength begins with finding something that gives your life meaning. Purpose isn't something magical that just appears. It reveals itself in the small injustices that bother you in the world. Melancholic people often have a sharp moral radar. They care about justice, beauty, coherence. Use that. Create, write, teach, care. When your energy begins to serve something greater than self-criticism, it changes form. You stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" and begin asking, "How can I use what I feel to help others?" And that's when the next step comes in, courageous action. You don't need to do something grand right away. For the melancholic person, even taking a small step can feel like an inner battle, but your strength lies in taking action despite fear. Writing that idea, sending that message, sharing that project. When you take action, you become stronger. Silence has taught you many things. Now it's time to let your voice be heard, not to please others, but to honor who you are. And as you bring your inner world into motion, you inspire other melancholics to do the same. And that brings us to a skill that will support all of this transformation. Melancholic people are often generous with others and harsh with themselves. It's time to break that pattern. Self-compassion is not self-pity. It's treating yourself with the same kindness you'd offer a dear friend. It's knowing you have limits, that mistakes are part of life, that it's okay to feel deeply. When you welcome yourself, something powerful happens. Guilt loses its grip and courage takes root. You begin to become your own home, not your worst enemy. And from that strong foundation, you can build the next chapter of your life. And to do that, I have an invitation for you. If this video touched you in some way, if you saw yourself in any of these words or silences, then this content matters. And everything that matters deserves to be shared. Like this video, because it tells the algorithm this topic matters. Leave a comment about how melancholy shows up in your life. And most importantly, subscribe to the channel, because here we don't see melancholy as a problem to be solved, but as a depth that deserves to be embraced and transformed into strength. Let's walk this journey together. You are not alone, and your sensitivity is not the end, it's the beginning.